Right, a very quick video here on how we make these tiles. Now we're doing a 6-inch tile, and what I've got is I've got some extrusions from the pug mill here, like that, and these bits of wood are, this doesn't really matter, but these bits of wood are about half that extrusion in thickness-ish. You know. So I'm just going to take the wire and cut that down through the middle there, and I've got two halves there like that. Now I need to do that with one more clay piece, which I have here, so I've done that already to those. So I'm going to put that one there, and I'm going to put this one here like that, and that one there like that. Now if you're taking your clay straight out of the bag, you don't need to do this. You need you can either use your thumbs like this, or you can just knock it together with a mallet like that, turn it over like that, and do the same thing on the other side of it. I knock them together with a mallet actually because it's quicker, and most of the clay we're using here is scrap from other tile jobs, goes in a bucket, goes back through the pug mill, and here we are. Now I need to roll this out flat, and I might just do that with a couple of different here we go. I've got a rolling pin here, so I'm pushing this out like that, and I'm pushing this back a bit towards me, so I'm making it longer really at the expense of its width, like so. Now that's too thick for a tile, so what I'm going to do is trying to make two 6-inch tiles. There's my 6-inch template, and that pretty well fits on there, but I want to actually make that a little bit bigger. So let me just guesstimate there and chop them in two, and move that bit off to one side. And now I'm going to go to a thinner guide, okay, much thinner, and this will be my final one. Now I actually want to make this a little bit wider so I can afford to put the rollers out and not just constrain the sides of this. And if I haven't got enough, if I haven't got enough width there, what I would need to do is just put it out this way and hope my rolling pin is long enough to make it a bit fatter like that, and it is. So you need a reasonable sized rolling pin. So there we go. I think it'll almost get an 8-inch tile out of that. Anyway, we'll stick with 6. That's what we're looking for. And there we are. So far no special gear needed. Now when it comes to cutting the tile, here's a 6-inch tile cutter, and here's a 6-inch template. Now you don't need to buy the tile cutter because if you're making a set of tiles and you're using the same template, they're all going to be the same size. So what we'll do is we'll just put that in the middle. Now the only snag with this is that this might stick to the clay because this is Perspex, and Perspex is not an absorbent material. Steel isn't really either, but wood is excellent. It's very compatible with clay because it's very slightly absorbent. Stuff that isn't absorbent tends to be the stuff that sticks. So What we do to prevent sticking usually is just give it a very light dusting with talcum powder. Well, talcum powder is supposed to be very bad for you, so they all say they're 100% talc free now, and it's called body powder or something. Is that? Yeah, that's what it's called. Right, anyway, whatever it's called, that's what we're using. I've got quite a lot of waste here, but I'm just going to cut this tile like that on top of the canvas background. It won't hurt the canvas background. And there we go. So I'm just going to peel the waste off. And I've always got a bucket at the foot of the bench here, and it's got a few scraps in it. They've obviously been there. You can see that's a cut off a tile, so I'm just going to chuck the scrap into the bucket. There's the bucket. In the scrap goes. Now on top of the bucket I just keep a bag like that, just to keep it moist while I'm working. Okay, so basically there is my 6-inch tile. Very slightly sticky, did you see that? No, I'd have had a bit of trouble getting that off if I didn't put some talc on it. I was going to show you this because I cut one sausage in half just a short while ago, and I found it like this. You see that's dark on the inside. I've never had this happen with a clay before, but this is a peculiarity of this particular clay. So what I've had to do with those, I've found a few like that. I just put them back through the pug mill again, and they must have been sitting there for quite a long time. Now I tend to use a couple of floats like this, anything, and usually I would do this like tomorrow when it's just stiffened up a little bit, but that gives me a nice rounded edge on the tile. See what I'm... And it keeps it square, and it keeps it the edges flat. And what I need to... Right, that's going back through the pug. And this is for the next tile there. And what we do then is we use bits of plasterboard. And if I just find one, they're quite big actually, because here we go. So what I'm going to do is slip this underneath that, like so, and I'm going to take the short end there and just bend that underneath like that. See if I can do this without making a mess. And I'm just going to pull it off the canvas like that, and I'm going to leave it there. Okay, now I've got plenty of these. You can see the more I handle it, the more I'm likely to make it a little bit out of square. Now there we go, there's 1 6-inch tile. All you've got to do now is keep an eye on it over the next few days, because it may show a tendency just to curl up at the edges, and if it does that, turn it over, push it down flat, but do that on a dry bit of plasterboard. If you find that the plasterboard is getting very wet, I use one of these. Not on the clay. I don't want to dry that unevenly, but when I lift that up tomorrow, there's going to be a damp patch underneath it that's very tile shaped, and I'm just going to dry it off with dry that out a bit with one of these hot air guns. It's quite a useful bit of kit in the pottery if you're doing a lot of tile work. It's really to keep not just the plasterboard dry, but also we've got loads and loads of canvases, and they get used. I put them either side of the clay when I'm rolling it out on the slab roller. And I mean, you probably haven't got a slab roller, and you probably don't want to invest in one, but it is this piece of equipment here. And because we do this, you know, for a living, so to speak, or at least that's that would be the aim of it. And that one there has two canvases with it anyway, and so what we would do with that, if I take the other piece of clay, is I would put that on there, on that canvas. I put another one on top of that, and then fold the machine's own canvas over it. I don't use the canvases in these top canvases in direct contact with the clay, because they get clogged up with clay, and you get problems. So I use a more sacrificial bit in between. And then this one, it rolls the clay in that direction. And there's your finished result ish, probably, unless you want to. You can alter the roller up and down here, so I could make that a bit thinner. And again, you know, if I wanted to make it fatter, I'd just take this up and put it down on its other axis, and then I would run this handle down a bit like that and roll it again. And then I've made it a bigger rectangle, but a thinner, at the expense of its thickness. Okay, so that's what we do, because we can't do everything by hand. And what I've just shown you on the bench is what you would do if you didn't have any equipment. Well, there isn't any special equipment that you need there at all. Probably the most valuable thing would be the potter's knife, and I think everybody needs one of these, and that's this little fellow here. And so you see, it's very sticky at the end, and they're great. You don't want a lot of surface in them. You can't use a kitchen knife. It kind of it grabs hold of the clay and pulls it with it. You know what I mean? It doesn't, and clay doesn't like stainless steel either, so that's a bit of a no-no. If you look at the surface of this bench here, if you can see the surface of the bench, it's actually oil-tempered hardboard. It's waterproof masonite. I think the other word for hardboard is masonite. And this stuff, this oil-tempered stuff, is just fantastic. And I use it for all kinds of purposes, but it comes in two different sizes. It's either 6mm thick, like this, or it's 4mm thick, like the stuff on the bench. And this one here, see, it's kind of a little bit textured on the back, so it makes really excellent throwing bats. And we make these on the bandsaw in the workshop, and so I buy a whole sheet at a time and then make a load. But they last for a long time because the mechanical strength of the masonite, the oil-tempered hardboard, is pretty good. It's really good material. So anyway, there's another little hint there, and I hope that's of some use. Like and subscribe, guys. Keep in touch with the channel. We're trying to put a bit of technical information out there, but to keep it simple. And if you like and subscribe, it gets out there more. Thank you very much.